Hi everyone, my name is T Harv Eker and welcome to my web class, The $500 Million Secret. I truly appreciate you spending your time with me today, and my intention is that you not only get a ton of valuable knowledge from this class, but you're able to use it in your life immediately, good or good. So today I encourage you to listen very closely and take notes, and definitely stay to the end of this class because I really think you're going to recognize some things that you might be doing and not doing that are preventing you from creating the success that you want in your life. So if you have your cell phones out, email open, Skype open, or anything else around that could distract you, please do yourself a big favor and put it all away right now. I'm about to share with you the biggest, I repeat, the biggest secret that I know that led to my success. The secret that took me from broke to millionaire, and then from millionaire to multi-millionaire with over 500 million in revenue myself. Good or good. So, as some of you might know, I have a rule in my classes, and that is, very simply, don't believe a word I say. Now, why would I suggest that? Well, simple. Whose experience can I come from? Just my experience. It doesn't make it right or wrong or true or false. It's just my experience. All I can let you know, however, is that this secret totally changed my own financial life and has now changed the lives of tens of thousands of my students' lives. And if you learn it, and more importantly, you use it, I believe it can change your life too. So all I can ask of you is that you try it out for who? For yourself. Commit and give it your full focus and your full attention. And if it works, well, keep doing it. And if not, you can always just throw it out and try something else, true or true. So, as most of you know, I'm blessed to be, by almost anyone's standards, I have to say, really rich. But you know what? It wasn't always this way. In fact, I was probably in a very similar position as many of you that are on this class today. I wanted to be successful. I was willing to do whatever it took to be successful, but no matter what I did or tried, I ended up broke or not nearly as successful as I hoped or wanted to be. I struggled for a very long time. I had 14 different jobs, and I tried to make it in 12 different businesses over 10 incredibly frustrating years. And in my very latest venture, I was pretty close to giving up. It was my fourth business in a row that was a complete bust. And I was losing hope. And I have to admit it, totally depressed. It was so bad I ended up moving home with my parents at age 30, after being out of the house for more than a decade. And I'm sure that you can understand that it was more than embarrassing, at least it was for me. So one evening, by a stroke of luck, I met a childhood friend of my father's who was over at the house playing cards with him. And one thing about him, he was mega wealthy. We passed each other in the hallway and he stopped me and he said hello, and then proceeded to tell me that he heard that I was broke, or as my father put it, that I was a bum. Then he gave me some advice that was about to change my life. Would you like to know what it was? Well, maybe I'll tell you next time. Okay. I will tell you right now. He said, Harv, if you're not doing as well as you like, all that means is there's something you don't know. Now, being a brash young man at the time, I thought I knew what? Everything, but obviously that wasn't so. And he was really rich. So I sucked up my ego, and for a change, I listened. And he said this, he said, you have to realize, Harv, that most rich people actually think and do things the very same way as each other. He asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, well, I want to get rich. And he said, well, in what? And I said, in business. And then he said something so simple, so obvious, it actually shocked me. And he said, if you want to get rich in business, why don't you study rich business people and learn what they do and learn how they do it? Well, I didn't have much else going on, and so I devoted the next 6 months to studying rich people. And in fact, I found many, many similarities and principles that they seem to have in common, especially from the business point of view. And finally, it was time to put my newfound knowledge to the test. So what did I do? I borrowed $2,000 on my credit card and I opened one of the first retail fitness stores in all the world. And all I can tell you is that these strategies actually worked. In fact, they worked so well, I ended up opening 10 more stores in only 2.5 years, and I became a millionaire. Now, people that I had known in the past started asking me, how did I go from broke to millionaire in such a short time? And so I began sharing some of the principles that I'd learned. And pretty soon, these strategies, same strategies, were making a huge difference in their lives as well. And so I began teaching, and today I have over 1 million students from all around the world. And the exciting news is that most of them are now on the path to full financial freedom, and many, many, many of them have gotten really, really rich too. So today I'm going to reveal something that I've actually never really pinpointed before, and that is my one secret to selling over $500 million. That's $500 million worth of product myself. And how using this secret, virtually anyone can go from broke to rich in just a few short years. So are you ready to get started? If you want to create wealth, I sure hope so. Okay then, let's go. So bottom line, I went through three major phases of my business career. Phase 1, being broke and struggling, okay? Phase 2, selling my first big business and becoming a millionaire. And phase 3, building the largest personal success training company in the world with revenues of over $500 million in sales. Of course, there were plenty of differences in each of the phases, but there was one major difference that I would say that created 80% of my success. And I'm going to get to that shortly. Now, as I've taught for many, many years, there are only 3 parts to every business. And what I believed when I was struggling was that each of these parts was equal. What's the word? Equal in importance. And therefore, I should give equal amounts of time and energy to each part. But with that belief, guess what? I was constantly broke and struggling. I didn't understand what's known as the 80-20 rule, where basically 80% of your success is determined by only 20% of your actions. Meaning that when it all comes down to it, some things are just more important than others. But again, I didn't know that. Please listen closely, because I want to give you a key principle. Here it is. There are only, only 3, 1, 2, 3, only 3 major parts to every business. There's product or production, there's operations and administration, including finance, and there's marketing, which includes sales. And don't get me wrong, everything is important, but when it comes to getting rich, rich. One of these elements is a lot more important than the others. And this, my friends, in case you haven't already guessed it, is marketing. Whether you realize it or not, whether you like it or not, marketing will have the single biggest impact on your business and therefore your financial life. Why is this? Simple. Without marketing, you have no customers. And without customers, you have no what? Money. You know what? You could be fair in almost every other arena, but if you are a strong marketer, you will make a fortune. And conversely, if you are a weak marketer, chances are you'll always be broke or close to it. Bottom line, when it comes to any business, I have never met a good marketer that wasn't financially successful. And I've never met a poor marketer that was. It took me 12 long years and a whole lot of struggle to figure this out. But when I finally did, my business and my income skyrocketed. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, Harv, this is common sense. But as the saying goes, common sense is probably the least common thing on earth. Regardless, I have an intention here, and that is to give you the simplest shortcut that I know to success and get you to truly understand that when it comes to business, there are a million moving parts. But when you boil it all down, it will be your knowledge and your expertise in marketing that will determine whether you have massive success and get rich, or you have major struggle and you stay poor or broke. And so what I am advising, suggesting, recommending, teaching, and bluntly telling you is to focus most of your business time, money, and energy and learning into the arena of marketing and sales. How much? 80%. 80% of your time, 80% of your money, 80% of your energy, 80% of your learning, all into marketing and sales. And that, my friends, is definitely not common knowledge or common sense. It just works, and it works in the real world. Okay, so why wouldn't everybody do this? Well, several reasons. First, most people just don't know the secret that I told you. Most people spend most of their time and money fooling around with personnel or IT or offices or raising money or fighting fires or delivering the product or the service or 100 other things other than marketing. And these people work very hard, but they usually earn very little. By no means am I saying that the product or the service that you have to offer doesn't have to be great. It does have to be great, but that's a given. But again, there are a lot of people and a lot of businesses that have a good or even a great product or service. So why do 80% of them fail, or at best they never get rich? Mostly because they bought into the old axiom of, listen to this, build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. Again, have you ever heard that? Well, I don't know who made it up, but my guess is that person was very creative, but probably very broke, because they missed the most important 5 words that could make this saying actually true. So let me rephrase this quote in a way that makes sense in the real world. Are you ready? See if you can catch the difference. Here goes. Build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. If they know about it. That's the key. If they know about it. How could the world or even one person beat a path to your door if they don't know it exists? So yes, you want to have a great product or service, but it's basically useless if people, and let me add a lot, what's the word? A lot of people don't even know about it or you. And even then, when I say know about it, I mean that in 2 ways. Know, as in find out that it exists, as we mentioned before. And then there's know, as in they have the knowledge and information as to why they should buy this. And that's another part I want to teach you that's absolutely critical, because again, people can know something that it exists, but they don't feel like it's a must for them to have. Why? Because in my experience, 90% of business people are terrible. Let me repeat that, unfortunately, terrible at creating an attractive, what's the word? Attractive message or proposition that describes their product. And by attractive, I mean attractive as in it attracts people in the same way that, say, a magnet is attractive. That's why I call this principle magnetic marketing. And so again, they have to know that your better mousetrap exists, and that communication must magnetize them physically, mentally, and emotionally to your product or service in a way that the prospective customer not only feels they want it, but they feel they need it. What's the word? Need it. And not only need it, but they need it now. When do they need it? Now. Wow. What a difference from the standalone build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door. So now, what's the whole thing? It's build a better mousetrap and the world will beat a path to your door if a lot of people know about it and feel they must have it now. Better, yes? Why is it better? Because the better mousetrap, and just put your product or service in there, is all about you. But the perception that they must have it now is all about who? It's all about them. Now, here's one of the most important things I can ever teach you, or for some of you, just remind you of. Where do you get all your money from? Well, in my seminars, people say things all the time. Oh, my business or my job or my product or my service or trees or cows or the universe. You know what? You get all your money from none of those. You get all your money from, drum roll please. Do you know who it is? Other people. Other people, that's right. People are the only element on planet Earth that use a currency called money. And so every dollar or cent or pound or peso or whatever money that you get has to be given to you by other people. Meaning that's where you have to put your attention. On them, not you. On their wants, not your wants. On their needs, not your needs. So yes, your product is important, but only in the way that it relates to them. And if your message doesn't do that, no one will care and you will be broke. Does everyone understand? I sure hope so, because I just gave you one of the holy grails in creating wealth. It's about them, not about you. You have to get them to want to exchange their hard-earned money for whatever value you are providing. And to do that, you must, I repeat, you must communicate to them in a language that not only attracts them to your product or service or yourself, but makes them perceive that they have to have this. And they have to have it when? Now. When? Now. And if you have the ability to do that, my friends, you will be rich. The problem is that being able to create a message in this way is a very, very rare skill. If it wasn't, everybody in business would be rich. But I don't have to tell you that most people are not. Most people are either broke or struggling, or they do mediocre at best. And now you know why. Because I've been trying to convince you and about the key. The key here is not the product. The key is the marketing. I repeat, the marketing. Did I say marketing? I thought I said marketing. I did say marketing. The marketing of the product. Is it okay if I tell you just a little story to show you what I mean? I hope you said yes, because I'm telling it anyways. Anyway, early on in my career, I was trying anything and everything to make some decent money. I had to pay my rent. And so I took one of those dreaded telemarketing jobs. And there's nothing wrong with telemarketing, don't get me wrong. And some people actually like it. I wasn't one of those people, okay? I worked on straight commission, and it was very, very hard to make any money with the company that I was working for. I was selling office stationery, paper and pens and pencils and file folders and Post-it notes and printer cartridges. Like I said, it was early on in my career. And this is a lot of years ago, even before Office Max and Office Depot even existed. And the reason it was so hard was that my leads, the names I got, came from a very old book that everybody used back in the days of yore to find the names and phone numbers of all the businesses that were in the city. It was called, I'm sure you never heard of it now, but it was called the Yellow Pages. In short, every call that I made was a cold call to someone who was completely unsuspecting and didn't have a clue of who I was or who the company was that I worked for. And so this company had a bank of 10. How many? 10 telemarketers on the phones all the time. And they didn't do poorly, but you know what? They didn't do that great either. And I ended up getting to know the manager, and I found out that their revenue was about $800 a day for the whole business. And after a couple of months of me eking out a bare living, about literally maybe $200 a week, my best friend, who was also in telemarketing, he calls me up and he says that the company he's working with was making a killing, and he was making over, listen to this, $2,000 a week, and I should come work for them. Well, I went for an interview and I was hired immediately. Not because I was anything special, but because I had a pulse. And like I said, telemarketing is one of those things you did only if you had to do it. And so I was alive. Yeah, let's hear it. Anyways, so guess what this company's product was? Believe it or not, it was office stationery. The exact same products as the first company that I worked with. Now, I'd been trying to figure out why my buddy was making literally 5 or sometimes even 10 times more money than me. And in the first minute of my introduction to my desk, I found out the reason. Can you guess what it was? I'm going to let you guess. Take all the time you want. It was because they had a more updated set of yellow pages, right? Not quite. It was actually because they had no yellow pages. Instead, they gave us index cards that had the exact names of the business and the person who made the buying decision and their phone number and their personal extension if they had one. Add to that, every one of these names had actually answered an ad and requested pricing on discounted office supplies. In short, these were super qualified prospects who had raised their hand and were basically waiting for a call to give them the information that they themselves had asked for. Good or great. Now, how many of you have ever tried to sell something and heard the word no? I'm betting that most of you have had that experience. And how many of you have ever heard the word no a lot? Well, if you're in business, I'm betting a lot of you have had that experience. And with the first company I was telemarketing for, I heard the word no about 50 times a day and the word yes about 2 times a day. But with this new company, I heard the words no thank you or not today, but please give me a call next month about 30 times a day and the word yes about 20 times a day. That is 10 times more sales. That's 10 times more success. That's 10 times more income that I made. And I found out that the company averaged closer to $8,000 a day in revenue. And that, my friends, is also 10 times what the previous company was making. And get this, I got to know the owner of the company that I was working for now, the new company, and I found out something about him. Would you like to know what it was? Well, I'll tell you. One word, rich. He was really rich. He drove a Ferrari, he owned a beautiful mansion, and he was on his boat, which was actually a yacht, pretty well every weekend. And all of this from selling the exact same office supplies that about 20 other companies in town were trying to sell. And the big difference is that he was an expert in what? You got it. Marketing. What was the word? Marketing. That's right. He understood the power of marketing. He understood what I call the marketing conversion cycle. He understood how to put out, listen closely now, listen closely, the right message to the right people at the right time to get them to raise their hand and say, I'm interested, and then convert them. He understood how to convert those interested people into buyers and then, listen closely, lifelong customers. I'm going to repeat that. Lifelong customers. What does that mean? Well, just what it says. These people, they basically continue to buy from you for the rest of their life and your life, or for as long as you have your business, be it 10 or 20 or 30 years, good or great. I hope you said great, because as an aside, I want to teach you another super important concept right now. And there's a lot to it, but I'd like to just give you a taste of it, introduce it to you for right this minute. Are you ready? Here it is. The headaches, write this down. The headaches are in the front end, but the money is in the back end. Let me repeat that for you so it ingrains more deeply. The headaches are in the front end, but the money is in the back end. You know, I get into this critical principle a lot more in one of my programs, but for now it's important you realize that the big money is in what you provide or sell to your customer after, what's the word? After they become a client on an ongoing basis. The big money is generally not in your first product that your customer buys from you. It's in what they buy from you after on an ongoing basis and continue to buy from you for years and years and years and years to come. That's called the back end. And if you are one of my students, I will hammer you again and again and again and again that you must, what's the word, must create a big back end for your business if you want to get rich. And if you're going to work with me, I hope that's your intention because, well, that's my expertise. See, my target audience is people who are serious about creating wealth for themselves and their family. Those people who just want to earn a decent living, well, you know what? They usually go with another teacher, with other teachers, and that's fine by me because here's another concept that I want to teach you. If you want to be super successful, and I'll say it again, if you want to be rich, listen closely. Listen closely, okay? And you can write this down too. If you want to be rich, you need to be a big fish in a little pond. I'm going to repeat that as well. You need to be a big fish in a little pond. Okay, so what the heck does that mean? It means that you don't try to be all things to all people. Why? Well, first, because you can't be all things to all people, okay? And second, because it's way too expensive to try and reach all people. And third, because people don't want to buy from generalists. They want to buy from experts. And you know what? You just can't be an expert in all things. And everybody knows that. So you only attempt to market to a fairly specific group of people. Those who are the most likely to buy your product and like your style and your way and your particular expertise. So for me, those are people who are serious. What's the word? Serious about creating wealth in their lives, and they make no apologies about it. And if you have a problem, by the way, with getting rich, then you know what? You need to rewire yourself because all I can say to you with full conviction is that getting rich is really, 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 really great. It's great, okay? It hurts no one, and it allows you to live a wonderful lifestyle for you and your family. And just as important, it gives you the wherewithal to give and truly help other people in need. So if you have a problem with money or specifically having a lot of money, then that's a problem and a belief that it is not serving you, it's not serving your family, and it's not serving the other people you could be helping if you did do a lot better financially. Does that make any sense? I hope so. And by the way, when I use the word rich in this context, I actually mean financially rich, not just having enough money, but having a lot of money, an abundance of money, an excess of money. Okay, so let me not be so politically correct, okay? How about a shitload of money? Okay, I'm gonna say it, simple as that. Because again, if you have a lot more money than you actually need, you can help a lot more people that need it. Let me repeat that because it is important to me and it's important to you. If you have a lot more money than you need, you can help a lot more people that need it. So please, please, don't do yourself and everyone else a disservice and don't make money bad. It's good if you use it in a good way, and that's what I expect from my students. First get rich, then use your wealth in a good way. Simple, right? All right. And what's the secret key to getting rich, especially in business? Oh, what have we been talking about? What's the word? That's it. Marketing. Okay. So why else do people not put enough attention on the marketing side of their business? Well, because if the truth be told, well, most people are actually, well, they're pretty poor marketers. And I don't say that to hurt anybody's feelings, but they don't quite understand how to get people to buy in droves. And so quite naturally, as human beings, well, you know, it's normal. We tend to veer away from things that we're not good at. And so most people, well, they stay away from that business, that part of the business altogether, while others try the best they can, but they just don't know what to do and they don't know how to do it. Basically, whatever they try, well, it just doesn't seem to work. They might have even gone to school for marketing. You know, let me give you an example. I know a lot of you might know my son, Jesse. He has an actual marketing degree from Arizona State's W.P. Carey School of Business. And it's one of the top business schools in the country. Yet before he started working with me, he actually had no idea about what really works with real people in the real world. Here's a kid, a great kid, who spent 4 long years in so-called marketing classes, but still didn't know how to make 10 cents in business. Well, actually, that's not true. He actually did know how to make 10 cents. The problem was that he didn't know how to make $10 million, okay? And that's what I've been teaching him. And now, guess what? He's well on his way. So don't get me wrong. I'm very, very happy that he went to college because I truly believe college is a great social experience. But he certainly didn't come away with any real business acumen. So sure, you may be one of those people who believe you know how to market, but the question I have for you is, who'd you learn from? And the only real criteria that matters is, did they make their money in business? And are they really, 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 really rich? Remember the advice my father's friend gave me that changed my life, which basically stated that if you want to be rich, learn from a rich person. All right, now let me give you one more big reason that a lot of people are either poor marketers or they just don't focus as much as they need to on marketing. And maybe you might relate to this. It's because they, listen closely now, they hate to quote unquote sell. And they equate marketing with selling. Now, in reality, marketing is selling, but there is a big difference in format. And that, my friends, can make all the difference in the world to you. It sure did for me. Again, many moons ago, one of my jobs was selling the dreaded encyclopedias. I know now I'm pulling the sympathy card, right? Telemarketing encyclopedias, you don't even know the half of it. And if anyone can remember this, or you did this, you'll recall this was strictly door-to-door selling, knocking on people's front door, completely unannounced and definitely uninvited, and trying to get them to buy a $500 set of books. Now, before I asked you, how many of you heard the word no? Well, in this job, I wish I just heard the word no. Instead, it was usually two words that I can't even mention here in case any kids are listening. But I will tell you, the second word is it's off, okay? Now, I had doors slammed in my face. I had dogs sicked on me. Go get them, okay? I had people call the police on me. And all I know is that I felt like a piece of crap, and I hated every minute of doing this. As you can imagine, my perception around the word selling was not a good one. And I swore I wouldn't ever do anything like this again. Never again would I sell one-on-one, face-to-face, and uninvited, where I was destined to hear the word no again and again and again and again, directly into my overly sensitive ears. And so yes, like many of you, I swore off selling, and I even swore off marketing because I thought everything in that arena would entail that horrendous feeling of personal rejection. So I get it. I mean, really, who wants to feel rejected? Sure. I mean, there's some folks out there, nothing bothers them. If they have a rock hard ego, that cannot be bruised. But I'll tell you what, I wasn't that way. And in fact, I'm still not that way. I don't like rejection. I don't like being told no. I don't like bothering people. I don't like people thinking in any way, shape, or form that I'm a sleazy salesperson. But you know how we always hear that everything happens for a reason? Well, I'm actually a big believer in that. And I truly believe that horrible selling experience happened to me for a reason. Because I was forced, I repeat, I was forced to find ways to market and have people buy from me without the risk of personal rejection. And guess what? I found that when there's no risk of personal rejection, I actually love marketing because it's really interesting. It's all about human psychology and what makes people tick and not tick and buy and not buy. And I'll tell you what, if you understand that, you can literally write your own ticket in this world. It's the most valuable knowledge or skill a person can own because it not only works in business and in finance, but in every relationship that you have, good or good. You see, selling itself is actually pretty one-dimensional, but marketing is multi-dimensional, meaning there are hundreds of ways to do it. There are videos and webinars and teleseminars, and there's ads and there's blogging and direct mail and email. There's hundreds of ways where you never have to speak directly to any one person and still end up getting with tons and tons of customers and sales, good or good. So now I want to teach you another concept that I truly believe can change your life. Are you ready? No, you're not ready. Are you ready? Okay. So now I want to teach you yet another concept that I truly believe can change your life. Are you ready? If so, here goes. And by the way, if you're watching or you're listening in a place where you can write this down, then for goodness sakes, write it down. Here it is. Not what, but how. Let me repeat that. Not what, but how. Well, what the heck does that mean? Simple. That it's generally not what you do, it's how you do it. And you know what? This goes not only for business, but for every part of your life. So is it just being in business, which is the what, or how you do your business that will determine whether you are successful or not successful? And with our topic, is it the what of just marketing, or is it the how you do your marketing that will determine your result? Meaning whether you do it well and whether you do it in a way that you like versus a way that you hate. So all those things are important. And so that the key is to market in a way that is not only effective, but listen closely now, that you resonate with that and you actually enjoy that method. Yes, enjoy it. You know, again, I hated selling one-on-one in person, but I totally enjoy. I love the kind of marketing that we do. You see, I am a teacher at heart. I hope you notice that. You know, I love to teach and I love to motivate people to take action towards their goals and their dreams. It's important to me because I had such a hard time myself. So how do I market? Right. I teach. And then I invite people who want to learn even more, or they maybe want more advanced strategies to take one of my more in-depth programs. It's as simple as that. And it doesn't matter to me if it's live or online or on the phone or on Skype, or as long as I'm teaching to a group. And again, I want to repeat this, to a group, and giving them life-altering information. And then I offer them the opportunity to continue learning with me if they feel it would benefit them to do so. Again, by the way, notice I said the word group, and I said it more than once, didn't I? You will never, ever see me try and market or sell to any single individual, ever. Why? I told you why. I had a bad experience with that, and I don't like it. I didn't like it. And I'm not trying to force myself to do something that I hate. And I'm not about to try and fit my, let's say, round self, maybe rounder than I should be, round self into a square hole. Like, why should I do that? There are tons of highly effective ways to market. So why shouldn't I do it in a way that is natural and enjoyable to me? And the better question is, why shouldn't you? And the answer is that you should. Not only you should, but you have to. I'm going to repeat that. You have to. Because if you don't market in a way that resonates with who you are, you will fail at it. That's right. I hope you realize what you just heard. My guess is that most of you never really heard that principle before. I never did, and hardly any of my more than 1 million students ever did. So let me repeat it for you so you really get it. And again, write it down if you can. If you don't market in a way, in a format, in a style that resonates with who you are, you will fail. And conversely, if you do market in a way that suits you, a way that resonates with your heart and your soul, you will succeed. Why? Because as I'm sure you know, everything is energy. And all energy travels in what? Frequencies and vibrations. And when you are marketing, you are what? You are communicating. And all communication has its own frequency and vibration. Yes or yes? Now, I don't care if it's verbal or visual or in print or graphics or whatever, it's all energy and it has a specific vibration. And that vibration is what is transferred from you to the people that you are communicating with. Remember what Einstein said. He said that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. And in this case, from one person to another. If you, listen closely please, if you are marketing in a way that does not suit or resonate with who you are, your energy will actually be out of integrity. And your prospects and those reading or watching or listening to you, they will feel that in their own energetic field, and they will actually be repelled by it. That's right, repelled. The innate intelligence inside them will tell them to move away from you or from your communication. And that's called saying no, or not taking your calls, or not opening your emails, or not clicking on your Facebook or your Google ads. On the other hand, if you and your format resonate and are one, they are one with you, and your marketing will be unified, it will be solid, it will be strong, and it will be in integrity. And that strong, solid energy will resonate with them, and they will be attracted to you and your product or your service, and they will say yes, and they will take your calls, and they will open your emails, and they will click on your Facebook or your Google ads. Listen, I understand for some of you this energy and vibration thing might sound a bit woo-woo. I get it. But for those of you who know me, you know that I don't care about what it sounds like at all. I only care that it works in the real world with real people and earns real money. Again, I'm only coming from my own experience. But please remember that these same quote-unquote woo-woo principles helped me bring in over $500 million. And I hope that you agree there's nothing woo-woo about that. All right, bottom line. What I am trying to share with you is that if you are not an expert in marketing right now, you can learn. And if you don't like marketing, there are ways to do it that will resonate with you and that you will actually enjoy. So along these lines, would you like to know another secret that made a huge, let me repeat that, a huge difference to both my psyche and my income? From now on, don't use the word sell, okay? Listen, what is the reason that someone would even consider buying your product or service? Well, we can go in circles for 1,000 years answering this, but in the end, it's because, what did I say a little bit earlier, what I referred to is because you are what? Solving some kind of problem for them, right? A big problem or a little problem, but people give you have to understand this, everybody. People give you their money because you are solving a problem for them. I hope you remember that, because that's the base element to making money, and one that hardly anybody even knows about. It's so critical. I want you to memorize it. Write it down. Write it on your bathroom mirror. Look at it 10 times a day if you have to. If you truly understand this, my friends, your life will change right now. Here it goes. Write this down. Here it is. Money is simple. I'm going to give it to you straight. Here it is, okay? It's as simple as this. If you solve a problem for one person, you make money. If you solve a problem for some people, you make some money. And if you solve a problem for a lot of people, you make a lot of money. Like I said, money is simple. But you can't solve a problem for a lot of people if, as I said earlier, a lot of people don't even know you exist. And that's where marketing comes in. And you can't market effectively if you equate it with selling and you have a problem with the idea of selling. So from now on, you never use the word sell. You eliminate that word from your vocabulary. And instead, you use a word that truly represents what you are attempting to do. And that word is help. When I'm talking about my courses and my programs, I never, ever think about selling anything to anyone. In my mind, there's only one consideration, and that is to let people know in the most passionate manner that I have how I can help them. And that's it. That's why I never feel rejection anymore. That's why I never take it personally anymore, because I'm not there to make a sale. I'm only there to help the people that I can help and who want my help. And that's also why I'm so adamant about what I offer, because I truly believe I can really help people and that their lives will really be better as a result of what I'm offering. And if they don't perceive that or they don't agree with that, that's fine. I'm not there to convince anybody. That's not the game I'm playing. I come from a place of service and trying to help others. What does it have to do with me? The answer is nothing, because it's not about me, it's about them. And so if it's about them and they decide that it's not right for them at this time, that has nothing to do with me. Now, I hope you understand, and I hope you can really start to come from that place too. Come from helping others. Come from a place of service. Come from trying to make a real difference in people's lives in a big way or in a small little way. It's all good. And if you do this and you take yourself out of the equation, you take yourself out of the equation, I promise you, you will not only have a lot more meaning and fulfillment in your life, you're going to be way more successful. Again, your energy is contagious. People can feel who you are and where you're really coming from. When you are there to sell them, they feel it, and I'll tell you what, it feels like crap. And when you are truly there to help them, what's the word? Help them. They feel that too, and it feels wonderful. And if they want it and they need it, they'll buy it. And if they don't, they don't. And you move on, to some other people that you might be able to help. You get what I'm saying here? I really hope so. I hope so, because what I'm sharing with you is absolutely critical to your success. It's critical to your happiness. And I just pray that you use this. So I want you to say this out loud. I know it's a bit odd, but we've done odder things, okay? Say this out loud. Repeat this with me. Repeat after me right now. Here it is. I help people, not sell people. Say that with me, please. I help people, not sell people. Again, I help people, not sell people. Now, put one hand up and give yourself a huge high five and yell, I'm awesome! All right, great job. Now, again, some of you might be saying, but Harv, it's a lot easier to say this since you have thousands of students and you've been doing this for a long time and you've had massive success. And you know what? This is true. But one of my sayings, I'm sure you've heard me say this before, is that every master was once a disaster. Let me say that again. Every master was once a disaster. Think about it. Can you really expect to be great at something without focusing on it, without taking it seriously, without putting the time and energy and effort into it? Here's the thing. No one is born a great marketer. I know this is going to come as a shock to some of you, but I didn't come out of the womb with the gift of marketing. I, along with everyone else who is a great or even a good marketer, had to learn. What's the word? Learn how to do it. Remember, if you want to be rich, learn what rich people do and do that. And that's what I did. I learned from people who were the best marketers in the freaking world. And I'm not exaggerating, in the least, the best in the world. They had to be, because they didn't get paid in salary. They got paid on results and were able to earn millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars with their strategies and their copywriting. And then what I did is I honed these principles and I put them together like in a way that I could understand them and that resonated with me. And then I used these methods over and over and over and over again, and I sharpened them even more. And then I made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars with those principles myself. And now I teach these strategies. I teach them in a way that is simple, that's usable, and most importantly, creates wealth for people. And I love that I'm able to do that for others, because you know what? I wish someone would have put this all together for me. It would have saved me a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of struggle. And so I feel like it's my mission, my purpose, my dharma, my karma to pass this sacred information along. And that's why I put virtually everything and every secret that I know about money-making marketing into one place and created a brand new program called The Wealthy Marketer. Marketing secrets that will make you rich. And if you stay till the end of this class, I am going to give you a totally outrageous opportunity. But before I do, would it be okay if I share with you just a little bit more about this program so you can decide for yourself if it's right for you? And at the same time, I want to teach you, if it's okay with you, several more wealth-producing marketing secrets. So please listen very closely. And again, if you can, if you're in a place where you can do it, please take notes. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if I was to boil it all down to one thing, I would have to say that it was marketing that made me rich. And it was my skill at marketing that allowed me to create over 500 million. That's $500 million in sales myself. The truth is, there's a lot of elements that you can learn with regard to marketing, but in reality, there are only a few of those elements that really make the difference between earning a living and earning a fortune. And that's what I'm going to teach you to do in this program. It's a step-by-step system that will have people literally lining up to buy from you. And I'm not kidding, and I'm not exaggerating. You know, if I don't have actual lineups of people buying, or in my inbox is literally not overflowing with orders, I don't feel like I've succeeded. I get it. It's a high standard, but you know what? That is the standard I want you to have, and that's the standard you will achieve when you use the strategies I'm going to teach you. In the Wealthy Marketer program, I will be working with you directly on your message, determining your target markets, including lucrative specialty markets, your copywriting for your ads, your sales letters, your emails, and your website copy, and even your brochures if you use them. And now here, let's just hold on for a second, because you should know, you must know something here, that every form or format of marketing begins with writing a script. Let me repeat that. You don't wing it. You don't just say whatever comes to your head at the time. You write it, you edit it, you practice it, you test it, and you keep rewriting it until this specific wording works to bring in tons of customers and huge amounts of money. So it all starts with copywriting. And of course, the problem is, well, the 99% of people are just bad copywriters. They just don't understand how to describe something in a way that really attracts people and makes them feel, as I said earlier, like they have to have and they totally need your product or service right now. Copywriting is by far the most important skill a marketer could have. And I'm not saying you always have to write your own sales letters and emails and scripts, but you sure better understand the difference between great copy, mediocre copy, and bad copy, because if you don't, you're probably going to end up broke, okay? And we don't want that. So here again, I gotta say, it's who you learn from that makes a big difference. So I guess it might interest you to know that, yes, I used to be a professional copywriter. I made my living, and I should add, a very, very good living, writing marketing copy for others. I suppose I was pretty good at it because I charged $10,000. You heard right, $10,000 for an 8-page letter. Plus, now I'm gonna say this again too, plus a percentage of the revenue that my letter brought in. So I averaged somewhere between, I don't know, $20,000 and $40,000 for an 8-page letter. Now, why would anybody pay that kind of money? Maybe because they would be earning 10 times more than that for themselves. Just my copywriting alone has brought in literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And just so you know, the copywriting that I specialize in is direct marketing, meaning the goal is to have the readers buy right now, order now, call now, not some whimsical like lifestyle advertising that can never be measured. In short, the copy that I wrote had to bring in money immediately or not at all. And that, my friends, is the toughest, the hardest kind of copywriting in the world. But you know what? It's also the most lucrative. Maybe you might want to learn how to write killer copy, and maybe you want to learn that from me. And maybe you might be interested in getting my $1 million copywriting template. That's a paint by numbers, step by step, fill in the blank document. You simply fill out, and lo and behold, you have a sizzling hot letter or email right in your hands. Good or good. So let's get back to what else you're going to learn in the program. In the Wealthy Marketer, I'm going to work with you on, listen closely now, your upsells, your downsells, your cross sells, and your bundles. Upsells, downsells, cross-sells, and bundles are advanced techniques that all big-time marketers use, and it's vital to creating high levels of success. In fact, in the Wealthy Marketer program, the name of this section, it has its own name, and it's called How to Double Your Profits in 5 minutes or less. Now, doesn't that sound like a bit of an exaggeration? Doesn't it sound like a big promise? So here's another important lesson for you. Write it down if you can. Listen closely. This is critical. I can't tell you how many students I have had that have changed their entire lives, their entire business, and their entire financial lives from this principle. All right, here goes. Have you heard the principle that says it's better to make a small promise and over-deliver than make a big promise and under-deliver? And guess what? I agree with that to an extent. See, the problem is that this is exactly how broke people think. It's either or, either or, either or. So in this case, it's either small promise and over-deliver, or it's big promise and under-deliver. Now, if you've read my #1 New York Times bestseller, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, you're going to know that lesson number 12 states that broke people think either or, while rich people think both. What's the word? Both. Again, this is a principle that will change your life in business and everywhere else too. So let's see if we can expand your thinking right now and have you start thinking like a truly wealthy marketer, all right? This is right from the program, from the Wealthy Marketer program. Ready? Here goes. So again, the broke saying is, it's better to make a small promise and over-deliver than a big promise and under-deliver. But as a wealthy marketer, your goal is, listen closely now, to make a big promise, a huge promise, a crazy ass promise, and then over-deliver on that. Once again, you make a big promise and then you over-deliver on that promise. In other words, both. The reason you make a big promise is because if you don't, no one's going to be interested. Your message will not be attractive. It will be boring. It will be dead. You understand that? And the reason that you over-deliver is because if you don't over-deliver, those people who bought from you will never buy from you again. But if you do, if you do over-deliver, those people will buy from you forever. And in The Wealthy Marketer, I will show you exactly how to make this happen. So we are going for both. What's the word? Both. Big promise and over-deliver. Yes or yes. Now, the reason is because the program's not called Mediocre Marketer and it's not called Just Make a Living Marketer. It's called The Wealthy Marketer. Good or good? All right, let's continue. In this course, I'm also going to work with you on your company name, your tagline, and creating your unique selling proposition or hook. I'm not going to spend a lot of time discussing this right now, but let me give you yet another major marketing secret directly from the course. There are only two questions people are asking. And if you know these two questions and you answer them in the way that I'm going to teach you, you will get rich. And if you don't, you're going to work your buns off forever and probably stay broke or at least struggle. Are you ready? Get ready. Write them down if you can, okay? Here they are. This is probably one of the most important things you could ever learn about business, about marketing, about anything to do with it. This is what you need to understand. This is so simple and nobody teaches it. It's sad, but that's why I'm trying to impart the information to you. Here's the two questions. You ready? Number one question, why should I buy this? And number two, why should I buy it from you? Let me repeat that because it's worth millions of dollars to you. The only two questions they're asking are, why should I buy this? And why should I buy it from you? And that's all they really want to know. And as I said, if you answer these questions in the way that I show you, you will have lineups out your door, or your inbox will be overflowing with orders. And one of the critical parts of answering the second question is, why should I buy it from you, is called your unique selling proposition. And if you don't have a strong one, or you don't state it in the right manner, you know what? Your business will die, and so will your income and your money. And so when you get to that part of the Wealthy Marketer program, I want you to double your attention and your focus. You understand that? Double it. I hope you promise. Please. Good work. Okay. The next thing that I will teach you in the program is articulate. Now listen closely again. This is critical stuff. Articulating your heart story, bringing out the emotion. And again, emotion is critical. Why? Because I hope you know, or at least you've heard, that people, listen closely, please, people buy based on emotion, and then they justify their decision with logic. And your heart story is a very advanced technique that will work like magic. And again, have people feel, I repeat, feel magnetically drawn to you. They might not be able to identify exactly why they're attracted to you. They just are. Good or good. Now, you're also going to learn how to create irresistible offers. An irresistible offer is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically irresistible for anyone who has an interest whatsoever in what you've got. Now, if they have no interest, then it doesn't matter what offer because they're not interested. But if they have some kind of interest, you've got to create an irresistible offer. And again, I'm going to be giving you a template. What's the word? A template that will take any ordinary offer that you've got and turn it into an I have to have this now offer. Good or good. Also in the Wealthy Marketer program, I will also work with you in developing your back end funnel. Remember, I talked about this earlier. Remember what I said, that the headaches are in the front end of the business, but the money is in the back end. Having the right, what's the word? Right back end is critical because this is what's going to make you rich. Now, again, everyone has their own definition of how much money is rich to them. But again, my intention is for you to have more than enough money for yourself and to be able to truly help others who are in need. So here's another secret. Are you ready? Okay. Are you ready? I know I'm putting a lot on you right now, and I'm hoping you wrote these all down. Okay. Here it goes. If you want to be rich, not only in money, but in heart and spirit, then you must give. You must serve. You must help. I mean, really, what's the use of being rich if you're not happy and you're not fulfilled? So we need to handle both. And you know what? That's what I'm all about. People who know me and are my students, they know exactly that. I'm about both. In fact, I'm very well known for saying the following statement. This statement is quite profound because many people don't believe this, but here it is. The statement is that you can be kind, generous, loving, balanced, and even spiritual, and really, really, really rich. And that's the intention I have for all my students, and that's the intention I have for you. Okay, so just a bit more on what you're going to learn in the Wealthy Marketer. Here, I will work with you on your joint venture and endorsed mailer setup. This is where you are borrowing other people's databases, and in doing so, listen closely now, you borrow their credibility and the trust that they have with their customers. This is a super powerful strategy, but there are ways to do this that work and a lot of ways that don't, and most people who do it in a way that either doesn't work or it doesn't work nearly as well as it could. So again, I really want you to focus when you get to this part of the program and really put attention on this. I'm also going to work with you on your continuity program. This is where you have what's called residual income coming in on an ongoing basis. This would be a godsend, yes or yes. Now, income coming in on an ongoing basis without you having to spend any more money and time on marketing. Every business needs this and they would love to have it, but hardly any businesses actually have it. You will, because I'm going to teach you exactly what to do and more importantly, how, what's the word, how to do it. Good or good. I'm also going to teach you how to set up the best type of referral program in the world. One that keeps new buyers coming in systematically and automatically. And again, I will give you my own referral system template. Just fill in the blanks and presto, it's ready to go, and your income will go and rise exponentially because I will show you how to do the whole thing without, I repeat, without adding a lot of expenses. And that is critical. In addition, I'm going to teach you exactly how to create a frequent buyers incentive program that keeps your customers coming back again and again and again, and help me out here, and again and again and again and again and again and again and again, again. And we could go on for a few minutes, right? I'm running out of time, but all I can tell you is that the Wealthy Marketer program has much, 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 much more. My intention here is to create a foolproof marketing system for you to use over and over and over and over again that brings in both customers and money on an ongoing basis. And yet another lesson that I want for you is I want to emphasize the word system. What's the word? System. Repeat that with me one more time. System. Very good. What is a system? It's defined as a repeatable process that produces a profit. This is important, so I'm going to repeat it. A repeatable process that produces a profit. In short, this is critical. This is the answer to all your dreams. Listen closely. You must have full confidence that when you spend X amount of dollars marketing, you get back 5 or 10 times that amount. See, your marketing should not be an expense. It should be a highly, highly, highly profitable investment every day, every time, good or great. Bottom line, if you don't have a marketing system that works, you don't have a business that works. And chances are you're going to struggle needlessly forever. And that's why with this program, as I've alluded to, I'm going to give you my proven step-by-step templates that will virtually force you to succeed. These templates, my friend, they're worth gold because they are the exact same templates that I have used to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars. And the best part is you can follow these templates in any business that you are in for the rest of your life. Of course, there's always going to be people who are going to say, well, that's all fine and good, but you're T Harv Eker and you've had a ton of experience. And chances are I'm not going to be as strong at this as you are. Okay, I get it. Maybe you don't do the numbers that I do. So let's say you aren't quite as adept at this as I am. Okay, let's just say, even though I'm giving you a paint by numbers system to do it with. So let's say you only do half of what I do. Or why don't we say a third? Why don't we say a fifth of what I do? Let's say you can only do 1/10 of what I do with the exact same templates. Well, that's a revenue of $50 million. Ooh, get me the tissues. I'm crying for you. Let's say you only do 1/100th of what I do. Well, that's a crummy $5 million. Too bad. Do you get my drift here? I'm going to give you the exact system that I use, the same step-by-step templates that are in my computer. And even if you are terrible at it, chances are you're still going to get pretty rich. I hope you're excited because I get excited, as you can tell, just sharing this methodology with you. And listen, some of you might think that you could just hire a marketing consultant, or an ad agency to try and do all this for you. And many business people, they go that route. But first, you should know it's going to cost you a fortune. And second, what makes you think these guys really know what they're doing? Do they really know and understand your specific business? In my experience, not so much. And if they're not getting results, then what do? You are stuck because now they're gone. You've wasted a ton of money and you still don't fully understand marketing yourself. I can't stress enough that the one thing you have to know more than anything else in business is marketing, and not just any marketing, wealth producing marketing that, as I said earlier, works in the real world, that brings in real customers with real money, that goes into your real bank account and allows you to live the lifestyle you really want to have for yourself and for your family. I mean, really, what's the use of working at all if you don't have the money and the success to enjoy your life to the fullest? Everybody thinks differently, but I happen to believe that you only live once. So why not live the best life possible? All right, what would you consider a fair tuition for a program that will do all this for you? Well, when I teach these strategies live, the regular tuition in the seminar is $4,000. But since with this program, I don't have the costs associated with a live seminar, the tuition would normally be only $1,000. I hope you agree that's more than fair for a program that, if you use it, will make you rich. But as I said earlier, if you stayed to the end, I would give you a very, what's the word? Very, what's the word? Very, 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 very special opportunity. And the reason I am doing this is to be a model for you. Remember what I mentioned a few minutes ago about irresistible offers? Basically giving the most serious people a totally outrageous offer as a reward for trusting you? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. For those of you who are truly serious about success and register at this time, I am going to let you have the entire Wealthy Marketer program, not for $4,000 like it is live, and not for $1,000 like it is online, but for only $297. That's right. Only $297 for what has made me millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, and I can go on for a few minutes, millions and millions of dollars, and could easily do the same for you. So I invite you to register now for the Wealthy Marketer program. Just click the link below to take advantage of this totally outrageous offer. For only $297, you're going to have access to all 6 step-by-step in-depth modules, all of my multi-million-dollar templates, and over 7 hours of pure wealth-producing content that will have you giddy with excitement because you can actually taste. You'll be able to taste your future success. And it's all personally taught by me. So just click on the link below this video right now to register for the Wealthy Marketer today. And one last thing. Just as I'm going to teach you to do in the program, I am going to take away any and all of your risks because I'm going to give you a 30-day super easy money-back guarantee. Listen to the program, experience the program, go through the whole thing. And if you aren't completely blown away with what you learn, we will refund you every penny, no questions asked. Again, I'm being a model for what I want you to do and what I'm going to be teaching you in the program. But also, I've had tens of thousands of people learn this information in a live seminar setting, paying 10 to 20 times what you're going to pay. And I've never had a single person ask for their money back. I just want you to feel totally comfortable and totally confident about this program because I know that when you listen to it and start using it, you're going to be more than ecstatic. So again, this is a very, very, very special offer that will only be available for a sliver of time. So to lock in this price, you will need to register now by clicking the link below this video. And you know what? I don't have a problem if you want to wait. But if you wait, the program will be back to its regular price. That's why I am strongly suggesting that you register now and save yourself over $700. Regardless, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be of service to you. And I pray that I have been. And as I said, I believe my life's purpose is to share the knowledge that has made me successful with others. And from what I've heard from over 1 million students across the world, it works. So you have absolutely nothing to lose by getting and listening to the program, and a lifetime of success and freedom to gain. I wish you only the best. I am super jazzed to be working with you. Bless you, and goodbye for now.
Are you all my personal dreams?